Tim, what's your topic?
I'm going to go with something very near and dear to my heart. Mm-hmm. I feel like we've all been in this situation.
Uh-oh.
And I want you guys' thoughts on the situation, advice to give to the people out there that might be in this situation, and just any stories you might have about the friend zone.
Friend zone's tough. Explain the friend zone.
So the friend zone is when you really like someone, and you guys are really good friends, but you want to be more than friends.
No, let's call it what it is. It's she doesn't like you. And so what she says to you is, that's the way it always is. You're only in the friend zone. Most guys are not in the friend zone by choice, right? You're generally in the friend zone, or you feel like you're in the friend zone, or you think about the word friend zone when the person you like doesn't like you back, right? Then you're automatically put in their friend zone.
Yes.
Yeah. You can't get out.
So that's what you said.
It's like crossing the event horizon.
It's been my experience. Exactly like that. It's been my experience that the only way to beat that game is to stop playing it. Mm-hmm. Or to not play it at all, to use a war game reference.
Very good.
Thank you. I have been in so many of those situations because when I was a kid, we've all talked about this. Before my shadowboxing career, I was overweight.
Yeah.
And maybe it was a self-confidence issue. I don't know. But I just never thought of myself as like someone who could get that girl. And so I would go after girls. I would like pine after women, but I would always love the concept of like being kind of secretly, I'd be like, oh, she's never going to like me. And I'd kind of, for some reason, take solace in that for some odd reason. But then when I started actually going after girls, and they would immediately put me in the friend zone because they were like, you know, this guy's cool, but I'm not really attracted. I'm more attracted to Ty, which is what always used to happen in college. It started to piss me off. And after a while, I'm like, the only person that can change this situation is me. This girl's not gonna, like, once she's beyond that, I'm not. It would take such a monumental effort to change her perspective of me that I really just need to move on. And that's basically where it is. Like, guys, most of the time, you're not getting the girl. She's not gonna see the same way she sees the quarterback. Leave it alone. Go find someone who likes you for who you are. That's what I say.
Damn. Nick Scarpino laying on the truth. Drop the mic. Don't, please. They're expensive and they barely work as is. No, I mean, that's it, right? You got to cut and run. I was friend zoned like Nick all the time in high school. Just got to brush it off. Go about your business.
So when you say all the time, with both of you, was there one that was like the friend zoning of friends?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
And I tried repeatedly because I was young and stupid, right? You'd be like, well, I'll give you 3 months and I'll ask you out again. Mm-hmm. Nope, still not interested. You're like, well, I'll give this 3 months.
I had a very interesting triangle that happened. So I liked this girl who liked my friend who was still hung up on this other girl who liked me. And so it was the weird
square.
I'm sorry.
Because I was like, Nick,
there's four people involved with this.
Sorry, my bad. It's a square or a rhombus, depending on the position of where we are in the room.
Could be a rectangle.
Some sort of polygon.
Tetrahedron.
It's just something weird. But it ended up being really, really weird. I was like madly in love with this girl, and she liked my good friend. And dude, I was just like hanging in there for as hard as I could. I actually had a couple crushes in high school. One, I used to use crushes to get over other crushes, which is just so...
It's naive.
It's just naive and counterproductive. It's stupid. I was in love with this girl for 4 years until she graduated. She was a year ahead of me. And for the longest time, I just could not get her out of my brain. And then finally, this other girl came around. And I pushed it all off to her. Then it ended up being interesting because I ended up finally getting the girl that I liked, but it was too late, and I didn't like her anymore.
Oh.
So it was like years later. It was a few years later after I'd like gone to college and this and that. And she was like, hey, I kind of like you. I realized it actually worked out. She goes, I realized the error of my mistake, but I had forced myself to move beyond it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I can't do this. I can't feel this way for God knows how long until you do it. So I did what I thought a man had to do, was move beyond. And all my friends were super supportive too. They'd go, hey, dickhead, she's never going to love you. Leave it alone. You're an idiot. And they would pound that into me until eventually I left it off.
So you just cried, and that was the truth.
Yeah.
What about you, Tim? You getting friend zoned?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But see, your thing is this: you look for women that you know are going to put you in the friend zone. Up until lately,
was
you're a cool guy.
His girlfriend.
What the?
He didn't do it like that. That's weird.
Is that how he did it? I can't remember. It was weeks ago. Like, it doesn't matter.
What was even going on here? I liked it.
You're tossing the ring out.
Oh.
She's gonna put it on her finger. You like it? Put a ring on it. You used to look for girls that, like, you would pick girls that you knew you couldn't get, because you could get girls. It was a weird thing that you used to do. Now you finally kind of gave that up, and now you're dating, and it's
So
good.
like you say used to do, as if
Well, now you have a girlfriend.
This has happened. Yo, okay.
Ever since I've known you, there have been like 3 or 4 girls you've pined after.
Has there been? There's no.
2 that I can think of. Both of them I met. They look oddly similar because they're both tiny
okay,
Asian
I get
girls.
What he's saying. I get what he's saying.
Oh, now I understand his point. Now I get his point.
And then I think eventually you just hit a point where you kind of move beyond it, right? Like I think I don't know if you accepted it or not.
Yeah, I don't even know really what happened with it. It just kind of happened. But one of those girls is a much bigger
thing than the other.
than
Yeah.
the other. There was one girl that a good 10 years of my life
Yeah.
was just in love with her.
Were you in the friend zone?
I mean, well, yeah.
You can admit that now, yeah.
Yeah.
You ever get out
I
of
mean, I would always have admitted that, like I was. But at the same time, and like I still say this now, like I know she's wrong about this, and she's just not admitting it to herself. And like she probably would admit it to herself now. She damn well might be watching this.
That you're what you're meant to be.
Yeah, I mean, I know that she is in love with me. I know that for a fact.
Are you still in love with her?
I mean, to an extent of just like I care about her a lot,
Oh, sure,
but
sure,
not
sure.
in the sense of like.
Now let me
I
ask
would
you
do it,
this.
like, I would
Well,
never
I
get
don't
with her
care
at this
about
point.
that. Okay.
No matter what happens.
Yeah.
Like,
That's all
if
that
I was
matters.
not with Kara. and
That's
if
all
I
that
was not-
matters. Because at the end of the day, like there are women in my past that I probably, if I were being honest with myself, actually probably not. There might be a girl in my past that I might still have some sort of feeling for, but it's all just nostalgia. It's for what could have been. And at the end of the day, there's no way I would leave my wife for any woman out there.
It's a very interesting thing because when you're in the moment, it's so hard to see anything else, and it's so just the only thing you can do is just kind of like love the idea of it more than anything. Then you eventually fall in love with the idea, not even with them.
Right.
And you just want it to be
'Cause you
so
fantasized
much.
about it for
it's
so
just
long.
Like, this is what perfect is.
It will read in the park and
Whatever
drink
it is.
coffee
No.
in
See,
the sky.
here's how nerdy I used to be. When I imagined the relationship at night, you're sleeping in your bed and you're thinking about the girl and you're like, all the situations that could occur. Then I would start thinking about Batman. Then I would start thinking about myself as Batman. Then I would think about myself as Batman saving the girl.
Of course, yeah. We've all done that.
Have y'all done that?
Yeah.
I'm not the
I
only
have
one.
not done that.
Really?
You've done that.
No.
Do it tonight. You'll enjoy it.
I'll do it tonight.
Do it tonight. Go home and be like this. And I would just imagine situations where I could be the hero because that's what I thought I would need to do to change this girl's opinion of me. And in
look at-
reality,
And look at us now, just not even being heroic enough to stop blowing on your coffee to save someone's life.
and now in reality, all I can think about is Starbucks. That's all I want.
That's it. It brought you there.
No, but it sucks. It's something that you got to really deal with. And for guys, it sucks to say, but you don't have a lot of power when you're young. You don't have when you're in high school, when you're in junior high or high school or college, generally you don't have a lot of influence over women for who you are. It doesn't happen until later where you start getting a career and you start really establishing yourself, and then women can start to see you for the man that you're going to become or are becoming, right? And I felt so much of high school was very superficial. It was very much that guy's cute, that girl's cute, let's hook up. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's high school and it's only 4 years and it ends. College, 4 years, ends. Everything after college, that's when the stuff really starts mattering. So if you got a girl that you like and you can't get her, don't worry about it because there'll be more. And by the time you're 30, you'll be a badass.
See, it's more than not even worrying about it. Like, to me, at least, I feel like it was very important to go through that and to get hurt over and over and over to now be able to look back on it and be like, realize, not that it didn't matter, because it did matter, but it's like, it made me who I am now. And like, it's just crazy to be able to look back at the whole situation with an understanding of it, because now I realize, so I spent 10 years doing that. And then somewhere in that 10 years, the other girl came along. And the only reason I liked her was because she reminded me of girl one. And like that
Oddly
causes a
similar
whole
body
bunch of
types.
other problems. And that's bad. There's nothing good about that at all. But what's crazy is I now realize that while this was all going on, I was friend zoning my other friend that was a girl that wanted me. I was doing the same thing to some other girl because I wasn't to this girl.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how like this cycle just works where
It's vicious.
yeah. But I feel like it's important to go through it.
Yeah, it's necessary.
And it leads you to where you should be.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Hopefully. Some guys don't get beyond it. And that sucks. You gonna do it?
Nope.
It's the 18th.
You've been
beyond.
hanging these fat, low pitches right across center
Guys,
plate.
this has been
Meatballs
not
Right
over the
across
plate.
the plate. And I'm just trying not to swing.
Yeah. Although it's true though. I think back on that time in my life, and although I was miserable, I was like insanely happy because it's nice to have that. But because it's nice to have something that occupies that much of your time and like heart, Yeah. And it's not that I don't have that now. I just have a lot of things. Like we talk about this a lot. We work at IGN where it's like every day you have to deal with 400 things, and then your boss will come over and tell you have to deal with one more, and you're like this close to snapping and just bringing in the katana blades that you've kept sharp.
I'd stop you with my S-cross sticks.
There would. Greg, it's not happening.
They could be steel.
Although the cool thing about the bow was if they got cut in half, then it became the cool like Bruce Lee sticks.
Yeah, that's always a cool moment.
I always thought that was
happens.
really cool. Yeah. Did you guys ever have that? Did you ever have a girl you were like mad about when you were young in high school?
Yeah.
You got friend zoned?
No, I didn't get friend zoned until college. I've really only been friend zoned once. I've done more friend zoning than anything.
He keeps doing it to me.
There was a girl. I dated the same girl in high school for 2 years, but there was a girl in high school. She went to a different school, and there was a girl that I went to school with that I was like, I just loved, and we actually, she was like way out of my league. Like I was kind of like in the middle of popularity, and she was like really popular, beautiful girl, and we ended up like talking. She thought I was like so funny and shit like that, and like ended up like becoming friends. Then like I'd go over to her house, and then we were kind of getting interested in each other. Then it all fell apart. I'm not going to go into that on the air. But I'll tell you guys later. It's not bad. It's just funny.
She found out you were into bondage.
Yeah, she found out all the fucked up things I was into when I was
like
16 years old. But when I got to college, the only time I was ever friend zoned was there was this girl I loved her. She was like so hot and so cool. She was in a few of my classes, and she friend zoned me. But I would see we were talking about how like it's the event horizon and you can't get out of the friend zone. Like I crawled and like beat my way out of the friend zone, got out of it a couple times, like where like we would fool around.
Got out of it a couple times. I like that.
Yeah, like where we would fool around.
Then rubber banded right back into it.
Yeah, and then like back into the friend zone again. Like get a little taste and then back into the friend zone.
I had
my friends still bring that girl up to me, by the way, which is so funny to me.
Are you friends with her on Facebook?
No, I don't think so.
It's too bad. I want to see her.
And but so that was the only time I was friend zoned by someone, but I was also friend zoning other people because throughout college I dated the same girl for the most of it, and I was friends with a lot of girls, like a ton of them, and I don't know why that was. It's because I majored in something like I was in poli-sci. There's a lot of girls in there. I just kind of accumulated these friends that were girls. They were all in the same group and they were awesome, like really cool chicks. Still friends with them today, but one of them, was like really into me, and I was into her for a little while, and then I was like, this was the whole trepidation. This was, I was like, it's college and everything's ephemeral, and like I don't want to ruin our friendship and then my friendship with everyone else in the group because we are gonna date for a little while and then fuck it up, and then I won't have like my buddies anymore. Like my like I hung out with these girls every day, like for years, and they were just so important to me. So there was a couple times there where I put them in the friend zone, but then like you would not be with this girl, then you would try to reverse it, but you can't really do that, and it was very complicated. I mean, it all worked out for the best, but that was a pretty complicated situation with women in college for me. Like women in college was very complicated. It was there's like fucking threads going all over the goddamn place, and I tried to keep my ducks in a row by like respecting my friendships with these girls, and I put them in that zone, I guess, that I didn't really mean to. But they're all much better off now. Most of them are married, doing great.
Yeah,
so like it worked out for the best for everyone. But yeah, thinking about it in that time, in that context, it was difficult. It was a difficult time because you didn't want to put them in the friend zone, and you didn't want to be in the friend zone, and you understand it. Everyone's self-aware of the friend zone.
Sure.
It exists. If like that girl that I was in love with when we were freshmen, and then I would crawl out of the friend zone and then get back, she knew. And that's like what kind of pissed me off the most about it was that she fucking knew. She knew like I was in love with her. She like knew that I was in the friend zone. She knew I would crawl the fuck out of the friend zone whenever I could, and then she would just kick me right back into it. And I was like, whatever.
There's this theory of the ladder theory, where once you get too far up the ladder, you can't jump over to the other ladder. Like if you're still low enough, you can still go back down and run over to the other ladder. But once you hit this certain point, it's like you're there, and then the self-aware kicks in, where it's just like, this is it. There is no going back from this.
Right.
And something interesting you just brought up with the getting out of it and then getting pulled back in, that I think is the most important part of the friend zone learning experience, where you finally get it. You
The
get what
FLE.
you want, and something happens. Like, what?
Friendzone learning experience, FLE.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
continue.
No, it's important, and it's that moment when you win and you get something, whatever that is, whether it's a kiss or whether it's the love letter of, you know what, I love you, like, and you're like, oh my god, that feeling of elation that you get, where you're just like, my life's perfect. It's
Right,
like that
everything
scene
you
in
dreamed of.
Spider-Man 3, when he's just walking down the street and things are just good for him, and it happened.
That is not the same thing. That's like,
is.
he's all terrible then.
No,
It'd be
not
like,
that- no,
it's
no,
like
no,
the
not
the
that
scene at the end of Spider-Man 2 when she says, "Go get him, Tiger," and he puts on his mask and jumps out. That's
Kinda
perfect.
like that. No, there's a happy scene that he has.
There is a happy scene. It's
before
where
the,
everything's
before
kinda
the
going
dancing
on.
weird
Okay.
part.
Like
but yeah,
raindrops keep on
exactly
my
that part.
head. Yeah,
and he feels
really
so
weird.
You just feel so good, and you're just so happy.
But that's-
you can't sleep for a good reason. You know,
That's
you're just
Spider-Man
like,
2.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you're right.
Because then he drops the glasses. Remember, you guys don't fucking know you're Spider-Man. You
I
sicken
didn't
me.
say it. I didn't say
You
three.
sicken me.
Don't you push that mic in front of my face one more time.
What are you gonna do about scumbag?
I'm not a scumbag, but douchebag.
But I think that is the best feeling in the entire world. I don't think anything has ever, for me at least, reached that point of just like, I just won my life.
Right.
But by the same token, when that then comes crashing down, you get brought back. That is the opposite, and that is the worst feeling.
Yeah, it sucks because you got
Your stomach just feels hollow.
You got
and
a
it's
taste of that
I am
victory.
useless.
I don't think I've ever had that experience. I
Really?
don't think I've ever had the experience of like scoring that one thing from the girl that I really, really liked. What I've had the experience of is realizing that potentially other girls I was putting them in the friend zone and then hooking up with them. And it sounds terrible, but I used to do that. Like, I would be like, oh, this girl likes me. And I had such low self-esteem. I would be like, anyone that likes me gets a shot. Like, it was sad. It was like, I mean, I wouldn't care for
Nick,
these
I'll
people.
try anything once, Scarpino.
No, and it got me into trouble. And I lost a friendship over it, a really good friendship. I used to have a good friend from junior high and high school. Years later, after he dated this girl, and I knew he was still sort of kind of hard up on her, but I was like, oh, I mean, it's been years. Like, he'll do whatever. She was like, hey, we were at a party, and she was, like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know what's going on, and we hooked up. And then I was like, why did I just do that? Like, that's a bad idea. I know I can rationalize it to myself that this is not going to hurt my friend because it's been years, but realistically, he was like in love with this girl in high school, and she cheated on him in high school with one of our other good friends.
Damn.
Who their friendship was gone, and sure as hell, I don't know why I did it, but I did it probably because she was a hot Asian girl. And I was like, I need this experience, and right after it, I was like, this was terrible, and I told my friend, and it ended our friendship. Like, he just had his first kid. I had no idea. I just found that out from another one of our friends.
Oh.
So it sucks. But it is one of those things where like you were saying before, going back to it, I had that happen to me so many times where I'd fall in love with someone and they'd want someone else, that eventually I was just like, I'm just going to focus on me, and I'm just going to like meet people and put a little bit of a guard up. And it starts to work after a while, because you're like, you can't really control how other people are going to feel about you. You can just control who you are.
Yep.
And what you've accomplished and how cool of a person you are, or how good of a person you are. And then eventually, if you're confident in that, you will attract other people.
Mm-hmm.
And you will finally attract a healthy relationship that is not borderline psychotic when you're like, I'll just leave rose petals on all over her car. And then like her mom's pissed because you picked the rose petals from her own garden or something weird
Did
like
that really
that.
happen? Did that happen?
It's happened before. Or it was my mom that used to get pissed. She's like, what the fuck is happening to all my roses? Like, where are they all going? And
You're
I'm
like, I need to paint the cars, mother.
not that.
Some
We've
lotion
talked
on
about
the
this.
skin.
Yeah, I used to do weird things. Yeah, Riverside was always a fun place to grow up in, because the nights were super warm, so you could just be out until whenever. It was like not cold. You never had to go in. So I used to like, it wasn't stalking. It was trying to be romantic.
Keep telling yourself that.
Well, that's the thing with the friend zone too, though, is like
Scumbag.
there is the most thin line between creepy and romantic.
Oh yeah.
And that thin line is, does she like you?
I dated a girl in high school. This was actually one of those interesting situations where like she was super cute but kind of nerdy, and everyone kind of hated her because they couldn't relate to her, because she just said like really weird things all the time, because she wanted to be accepted so badly that eventually it just had the opposite effect where everyone's like, shut up and go away. But one day we were talking, and I was like, you're actually kind of a cool like she was just kind of being normal, and I'm like, you're actually kind of a cool person. And I was still trying to get over this other girl from the rhombus, and I was like, you know what, we should date. Like we should go out. I should take you to dinner. And she's like, that would be awesome. And we had this amazing relationship. But she had a guy that was like her friend, and he's like, no, we're friends. And he used to like, and he lived right up the street from me, literally 5 houses up the street from me. So he used to like walk by my house when she was over, and like knock on the door and then go away. And like one time he knocked on the door and I opened up and he's like, I know she's in there. And I don't appreciate the way you're treating her. And I was like, dude, we're just like chilling. We're just watching TV. And he's like, and then eventually it got bad because then eventually my stoner friends from high school got involved and they were like, we got it, bro. And I was like, I don't want you to have it. I don't want you to do any of this stuff. Dude. And they would do stuff like every weekend for like 5 weeks or 6 weeks. They would just find ways to like TP his house or like pee on his car or like what, like they'd wait for him to walk and they'd be like, we got this. And I'm like, don't. This is something bad. Saying, yeah, I'm like, stop doing it because it was like
they kept forgetting that they already took care of it.
They would like they literally just wait in my yard for him to walk by. And he used to walk by at night. Just go on walks at night and like quote unquote, I don't know if he was like keeping the neighborhood safe or I don't know. He was a weird guy.
He was the Batman.
Yeah, he was I think he was trying to be Batman, but he would go for walks. And I told I made the mistake of telling my friends that one time. And they were like,
we got this.
They're like, we got this. And so literally they just come over every night, like around the time, like 2:00 in the morning. They just come over and just wait for him.
It's a weird ass time to walk.
That is so weird.
They'd get him. I mean, it was borderline like weird. He had some issues. But he would walk by, and then they'd see him, and of course they wouldn't be sober.
They just have bats.
No, they wouldn't. They would just do the thing that like they would just see him like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, that's a great jacket. Hey, great shoes. Hey, what are you doing tonight? Hey, you want to go for a walk with it? And they just heckle him as he'd walk by because he would wear like a trench coat and stuff. And this was right around the time, by the way.
Trench coat mafia.
Trench coat mafia stuff. Like he would wear like
I'm just walking around at 2 a.m. in a trench coat.
Well, it was really weird, and they were like, this dude's weird, and they were like, and I'm like, you guys can't. In my brain, I'm like, don't escalate this because I don't want this to be like a thing where he brings a shotgun to school and then I have to blame. And my friends were like, we don't care.
We got this.
We got it. Like they would, and they're great friends, and I'm still friends.
They'd fall out of their van like Spicoli in the parking lot. Fast times.
Well, I guess because I didn't smoke weed in high school, but I guess when you're really high, you just don't care. Like when you hit that level of high, you're like, it doesn't matter if this guy's got a shotgun. It doesn't matter that he literally knows we're coming and is yelling at us to stop peeing on his car. They're just gonna keep peeing on his car. Like they used to try to arc it so that they could get it in the sunroof. And I'm like, guys, stop. I would plead. And they're like, stop doing it. I wouldn't plead that hard. But I'm like, stop doing this. And they were like, dude, it's good.
At what point did any of them suggest that at 2 a.m. you just be out there shadowboxing with them, just shirtless, just fucking throwing punches, and they're just like all around, like revving you up?
That's actually some of the reason why I used to shadowbox was because I was like, I'm not gonna be intimidated by this guy. I'll just sit out there and like. And at the time,
throw some punches.
At the time, I thought
how do you answer crazy trench coat guy? By being crazy shadowboxing guy.
Crazy shirtless shadowboxing guy.
Oh my god.
Shirtless.
You're like cutting yourself and then just fucking.
I used to be really flexible too. I used to be able to like kick like the top, like the branch that was like the lowest hanging branch. I'd be able to kick that, and I would think I was super cool. And like I would do all like really fast moves all the time, like wow. And it would look so cool, and my shadow would be like mirroring.
Is the girl just on the porch the whole time, like, you're doing great, Nick? Great for shadowboxing, honey.
No one really saw it, I don't think.
Okay.
Thankfully. If there's video of it somewhere, probably. There probably
I would pay so much for that. I would pay so much for shadowboxing.
So when you meet my brother, you haven't met my brother yet.
No.
Ask him about that.
Okay.
Because I used to do it all the time. I'd get like tired and I would just start like shadowboxing, and his friends would see me, and they'd be like, look at him, look at him, he's doing it again. And they just
We need to get him on the show.
Oh, you need to get my brother on the show.
That would be the worst idea of all time.
That's the worst. When he's up next week, we'll.
And then all of our topics are the same. Embarrassing Nick stories.
Yeah.
I just let him go.
Oh, it's the worst. That'd be the worst. I'd be fine with that though.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's how the great game. God damn it! That's how the Game Over Greggy show came out of the blocks immediately. Trip every week. 4 best friends gather on this here table, each bringing a random topic of conversation, and we talk it out for your amusement. If you like that, make sure you like this video or wherever you're watching it, because if you go to Bandcamp, you can get our shows there for $1. The MP3 goes up Friday. The entire show. That's GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com, or you wait it out and go to YouTube.com/GameOverGreggy. We put it up day by day, topic by topic. Then Friday, the whole show goes up for your amusement without charging you one single dime. Go buy a t-shirt, please. You can get them at districtlines.com/GameOverGreggy and start planning your trip for our next panel, which I guess would be Rooster Teeth, right?
RTX.
4th
of July weekend.
4th of July weekend. There'll be a Game Over Greggy show panel there. Come hang out with us. Talk to us then. Gentlemen.
Greg.
Thank you for your work.
Yes.
Continue to do God's work.
Hey.
I will.
Oh.